Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Sunday services at Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving and prospering community in the heart of Denver and online. We now conduct hybrid services, continuing our transmissions online weekly, as well as meeting in person on the first and third Sunday of each month at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place, located at 216 South Grant Street, Denver, Colorado. All are welcomed here. A place, space, and face of love. We are a spiritual community practicing universal principles that enrich our lives. We are grateful that you have blessed us with your presence. While online, we'd love to know you're watching with us. Feel free to leave a comment and let everyone appreciate you. With everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. CSL Denver wants you to know we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for personal prayer work. Our licensed spiritual practitioners' names and phone numbers are available on our website at csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, feel free to email it to info@csldenver.org. For your convenience, you'll find clickable links in the description of this broadcast. Rev Elzia, along with all our guest speakers, practitioners, service coordinators, and musical inspirations, want you to know how truly grateful we are that you are with us today. Thank you for your continued support and participation in our services, workshops, and events, as well as providing financial contributions to our center. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Sign up by visiting www.csldenver.org. Presently, on the first and third Sundays of every month, we deliver services in a hybrid format where we meet in person at 216 South Grant Street. We will also continue to live stream all services on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday. Find us on our respective channels as well as on New Thought Media Network. At the conclusion of our service, we welcome you to connect in fellowship. Join us in person on the appropriate Sundays or on Zoom every week. If this will be your first time joining us online, please send an email to info@csldenver.org with fellowship in the subject line. We'll reply with the Zoom link. Again, thank you for your precious attention. Now prepare for engaging enlightenment.
Presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this
Good morning, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. My name is Tim Hancock, and I'm a practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living. I invite you to close your eyes for the invocation. And as we move into today, we know that the one presence, the divine presence, the all, is in, through, and around all of its creation, in, through, and around each and every one of us as we sit in contemplation this morning, as we sit in this sacred space, knowing that we are in the folds of the one. We know that we are blessed, just as we know that this service is blessed, with all who are participating in it, with the support of Diego and Robert and Reverend Elzia at the helm, as well as all of the practitioners. We know that my reading is blessed, just as we know that each and every person, wherever they are blessed. We particularly are paying attention in our prayers and in our blessings to those in the hurricane in Florida and to those in the strife in Ukraine. For we know that they are all children of the one divine. As we move into this service, we are absolutely grateful for all that we have, for we have all that the divine offers us. And so it is. And for our reading this morning, those who follow the law of abundance realize, in order to reap the rewards from the law of abundance, you must assess your attitude. If you find yourself stuck in a lack mentality, believing that there is not enough in the world for you, take a step back. Look at the beauty that surrounds you and remember that the universe is full of opportunities for everyone. This awareness can change your life. If you believe money is scarce, it will be difficult for you to achieve significant wealth. But if you believe that it is abundant, you will be more likely to do the things to ensure its acquisition. When thinking about your goals, you must make the decision. Decide that you will successfully do the things that you want to do. Stop doubting yourself and start believing that you can have all of the things you want. In the words of Lindsay Lohan's Mean Girls character, the limit does not exist. And from Ernest Holmes, I found a prosperity affirmation, and I'd like you to join with me in it. Please close your eyes and take a breath and move into the quietness of your center. Today, I expect every good thing to come to me, for I know that divine abundance is forever manifesting itself in my affairs. I am keeping my whole mind and thought and expectation open to new experiences, to happier events, to a more complete self-expression. Everything that belongs to spirit, I accept. Everything that partakes in the nature of divine reality, I claim as my own. I identify with success, and I prosper in everything I do. As I give thanks for the good now flowing through my life, I gladly share that good with others. The more I give, the more I receive. I experience a deeper consciousness of peace and security, for I know that I am in the embrace of a warm, loving presence, forever seeking an outlet through me. My cup runneth over. I exist in limitless possibility. And so it is. And now our musical guest for October is Gary Lynn Floyd. Gary is an award-winning singer-songwriter from Houston, Texas. He's been making music since he started playing the piano by ear when he was 4 years old. He was introduced to Centers for Spiritual Living when he joined the music team at Center for Spiritual Living Dallas in 2008 and was the music director for the Centers for Spiritual Living conferences and retreats from 2017 to 2019. He is currently the artist in residence at Centers for Spiritual Living Reno and travels the country sharing his music to all who will listen. Most recently, he was nominated for, and this is the name of it, Empower Music Posse Award for his songs, I Stand for Love and Every Step is Holy, which he co-wrote with Karen Drucker. For more information and to hear other music from Gary, visit www.GaryLynnFloyd.com. So please join me in welcoming our musical person for the month of October, Gary Lynn Floyd.
Good morning, CSL Denver. Gary Lynn Floyd here with you. I'm honored to be with you this morning and all of October, so you'll get used to me this month. Thanks for having me. This song I wrote with my friend Doug LeBeau is called I Wouldn't Be Surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if peace broke out all over. I wouldn't be surprised if I found a four-leaf clover. Those miracles abound. They happen all around me every day. I wouldn't be surprised if we put an end to hunger. I wouldn't be surprised if we just kept getting younger. 'Cause miracles abound. They happen all around me every day. And life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way. And if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised if we found out every answer. I won't be surprised when we find a cure for cancer. 'Cause miracles abound. They happen all around me every day. And life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way. And if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. No, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way. And if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way. And if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. all.
Wow. Thank you, Gary. Thank you so much. And I wouldn't be surprised if Spirit just filled this room this morning as we begin this day with a moment of silence. Because we know that in this silence, welcome is here. We know that in this silence, God itself is here. And so in that idea, in that container of love, I would like to say good morning and welcome to CSL Denver, a place, a space, and a face of love, a spiritual community teaching ancient wisdom and utilizing universal principles to empower our lives and the lives of others. Now, this month, as we begin October and we begin to see the leaves falling from the tree, we step into this moment of prosperity and abundance. And so today we want to look at swimming in an infinite ocean of prosperity and abundance and love and light and all those things that we need to ensure first and foremost that we are plugged in, tapped in, and tuned on to God itself. The second thing is to know that there is no place where God is not. Therefore, abundance is abound. Abundance is abound. So now, oftentimes in our really busy everyday world, when we think of abundance, we think of it in material sense. We think of material things for abundance. And when we view the world in that fashion, we often find ourselves in a place of lack. Because if I'm looking at it from a place of things, I may not have all the things I wish for or desire for or I see others with. However, we know that the universe, just like the ocean as a simile of that, is full of all sorts of things. There is an abundance first of water. It's everywhere in the ocean. It's an abundance of life. There's an abundance of beauty, of color. And so the universe, in its extravagant exploration and exhibit of love and light, allows us to tap into an energy. It allows us to tap into a being. Not God the being, but the being within us, our being, in a place where all things are possible. Where all things are possible. A life of prosperity and abundance includes much more than the material things. It also includes spirituality and knowledge and love and forgiveness, and also receiving. And when we are able to submit, I'm going to say that again because that's a hard one. When we are able to submit to the divine presence that is everywhere, prosperity will come to us. We won't have to look for it. You won't have to strive for it. You won't have to fight for it or cry for it or any of those things. The abundance of life is everywhere present, so it will just flow through to you. The question is, are you ready? Are you ready to submit? Life is calling us to step up. Life is calling us to be on point right now. Are you ready to tap in, tune in, and turn on to this presence of the divine? So if I can have that first slide that really speaks to this by Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer says this: abundance is not something we acquire. It is something we tune into. It is something we tune into. And so when we understand what that means I have to be in a receptive mode. I have to release all of the impediments that I may have, whether it's lack or fear or guilt or any of those things that put static in the airways. You know, how many times have you felt sad or angry or vengeful and your head is just buzzing? All that frequency of non-clarity, non-abundance is flowing. And so the question that I ask myself every morning when I get up, and that's even on the mornings when I don't want to get up, when the bed is nice and warm and everything is comfortable in that little space, I ask myself, are you ready to connect to an infinite power? Regardless of what you're feeling right now, regardless of what you think may be in front of you during the day, are you ready to wake up and connect? You think about, you know, now we have this oceanic experiment going on all over the world. And that's what I think about when I get up. I think about this experiment that we have to do, where we are beginning, and the marine biologists are beginning to tag the whales and the sharks and all manner of sea life to understand how they move, to understand, are they just stuck in this little place, or are they moving in other places, in other oceans and other seas? Because previously they thought there were certain animals that only stayed in one place. Limitation. They thought they were limited to one environment, to one coastline, to one depth. But as they started to track, they found out that there are some that go long distance in this infinite ocean that provides for them, whether they're on the coast or whether they're in a bay or whether they're down deep. Wherever they are finding out they are thriving because the ocean is full of life. And we too are in an ocean of spirit that is full of life, that is full of prosperity, that is full of abundance that we must tap into. And the only limits that we have are the limits that we put on ourselves. How many limits have you put on yourself today? Last week? Or as the Red Queen, if you're familiar with Alice in Wonderland, the Red Queen asked Alice, tell me what you did tomorrow. No limits. Tell me what you did tomorrow, not today, not yesterday, but what you did tomorrow, because in an abundant world, there are no limits. I can tell you what I did tomorrow because it's infinite. The mind of God is infinite. The love of God is infinite. The priorities and prosperity and abundance of God is infinite. So are you tuned in? Are you tapped in? There's a verse from the Bible in Luke 6, verse 38 that reads like this. It says, give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. The measure you use will be the measure that it comes back. Now, we know in our teaching, that's the law of circulation. What I give, I receive. And here, Luke puts a little more salt and pepper on it, right? Luke says, not only will you give and receive, it'll be pressed down, shaken up, and put together. So I'm going to get more in my little giving and receiving. So are we giving to God what is the glory of God? Are we giving to God our true selves? Are we tuning in to the presence of the divine that is everywhere? So when we look at this and we try to understand how we begin to hold fast to this idea of abundance being everywhere, and that we have to submit, and that we don't need to fight, and we don't need to struggle, and that it's not just material, that it is also spiritual. And as quiet as it's kept, it's all spiritual, because it's all in the thought and consciousness of our mind. And when we can tune into that, there's nothing that we can't do. So I want to leave you with 3 things that will allow us to do this easily and effortlessly. Easily and effortlessly. The first thing is we have to be in the flow. Now, I'm sure most of us probably have gone to the beach and as they say, frolicked in the water. And if you have been in an ocean when it's kind of high tide coming in, and that little rhythmic upside your head is hitting you, the first thing they tell you is don't fight it. You got to relax, or else you will be pulled back out to sea. Right? So we have to begin to understand that just like that, we have to be in the flow. We have to relax. We have to relax. And this next slide, if we could get that next slide, I think really points to this. Eric Butterworth says this: when we establish ourselves in the consciousness of God, the whole universe moves to flow into us with its abundance of life and substance. When we establish ourselves in the consciousness, in the ocean of God, the whole universe begins to move because we become one with it. There is no fighting. There is no need to look elsewhere because it's all there. And no matter what it is, see, because there's no big or small in God. It's all one thing, whether I ask for a pebble or a castle. Now, some people may say, oh, that's wishful thinking. That's woo-woo. No, it's not. Because the next part of that, no matter what you ask for, you put yourself in alignment with it and you allow it to flow through. You allow it to be present in your life. That's why, you know, when they say, well, if you're going to dream, have a big dream. Don't have no little bitty dream. Have a big dream. Because that thought pattern will begin to create a magnet, an attraction that will bring to you exactly what you put out. And also, don't focus on what you don't want. Now that's hard. I'm gonna tell you, because I you know, right now the heater in my house is not working. And I've called the maintenance man out twice, and he said, oh, it's all good. As soon as it works for a minute, as soon as he leaves, it ain't working no more. Now, I don't know what's happening, but I am not getting an abundance of heat, and I need some on some of these early mornings. But I have to put myself in alignment with that. Not run from that, not hide, not complain, but put myself in alignment that the heat is not working, but there is an abundance of heat in the universe. So that means I may have to call it back out again, right? I may have to call it back out again to come and fix the heat so that it is flowing, so that it is moving throughout the house. And in that same manner, if the spiritual abundance and prosperity is not flowing in your house, your spiritual house, you might need to call a maintenance man to come check it. Why the flow ain't working? What's blocking it? Is the fire igniting when you cut on the switch? So first thing is, to get in this moment, we have to be in the flow. Be in the flow. Now, the second thing is, you got to be an open vessel. Now, I know I got gas, so because I paid the bill, so that part is not the problem why the heat is not flowing. But I have to be, we have to be, you have to be an open vessel to the Spirit. Now, I'm going to ask a question that at first may seem a little stupid, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I think it makes the point. Have you ever tried to pour water into a bottle with the top on it? Have you ever tried that? I guarantee you got no water in the bottle. I don't even need to look. I don't care how big the bottle or how small. You got no water in the bottle if you tried to pour the bottle filled with water with the top on. And so when we look at the abundance of life, just like that, if we are closed bottles, we're not going to feel the abundance in our life. Prosperity is not going to flow. We have to be open. We have to be open vessels to the divine. And by being open, that means we allow the intuition, which is the divine way that God speaks to us. We allow the moment where we relax, where we contemplate, where we meditate, where we go for walks in nature, where we ride our bikes on one early Sunday morning, so that we begin to open up to what is flowing through, to not allow God to be anywhere else but right here. And when we invite that joy into our lives, when we open our hearts and allow it to flow in abundance, things happen. Things happen. So to be open, to be an open vessel, we have to take the top off. We have to live in joy and allow the intuition to flow into our hearts and minds. And I guarantee you, now that's a hard thing to say, but I said it. I guarantee you, you will see a change in your life. If you just open up, be joyful, and allow the intuition of God to guide the way in that flow of the divine abundance. So now that we're open and we have the flow of abundance, and we are open and ready, I want to show that slide again, that slide number 4, just one more time if you could, because this thing of establishing ourselves in the consciousness of God. To establish something means that you are confident about it. You have no doubts. You're willing to follow. You're willing to withstand whatever, because I am established here. And when we establish ourselves in the mind of God, in the consciousness of God, then these first two things of flow and being open takes care of themselves. And then the third thing that we need to do, the third thing that we do that allows us to really swim in this infinite ocean of abundance and prosperity. Now, a lot of you have already heard this before, but I'm going to say it again. I know I'm preaching to the choir right now, but I'm going to do it because it's fun. It's fun because the thing is, if you change your thinking, you will change your life. If you change your thinking, you will change your life. If I woke up in the morning and I had a thought about, I don't want to get out of bed, I don't want to go to work, I don't want to, guess how my day's going to start? And how my day's going to end if I don't change that thought? It's going to end miserably. Let's just call it what it's going to be. It's going to be miserable because everything that I see, everything that I do will not be enough, or it will come up as lack, or it will allow me to find something wrong with that, even though in reality, there's nothing. There's nothing there that's wrong. There's nothing there that's out of place. Sometimes, all the time, we have to put ourselves in right relationship to the thing we want, i.e., change your thinking and change your life. We have to put ourselves in alignment with that. How many times have we had a thought, oh, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to change my diet, I'm going to get a new job, but we ain't doing no exercise, we ain't watching what we eat, we didn't write no new resume, but we're expecting all this thing to happen. But when I change my mind, when I change my thought, when I look at the world through different ideas, then it happens. It opens up. So by changing our thoughts, we can change our lives. Now, it's never too late to do this. Never too late to get in the flow. Never too late to be an open vessel. And most definitely never too late to change your mind and change your life, or change your thinking and change your life. Now, I'm going to give you a little quick story about one of, as we say in the South, one of my homeboys. Now, he's older than me, and I didn't actually know him or meet him personally, but I'm sure a lot of you have tasted or saw the package for Famous Amos cookies. Famous Amos, Wallace Amos, was born in my hometown of Tallahassee, Florida. And I see I got a witness out here. And he was 40 years old. He'd been in the service, and he was an ad agent, and he worked with stars. And he moved from Tallahassee pretty young, around 12 or 13, and moved to New York. And him and his mother would bake. But he had an idea after he would, help his, as an agent, and he would help the different artists, he would send them some cookies. Right? And he had this idea of he wanted to start this business. Now, if he had had a limited thought, not swimming in the ocean of abundance, Famous Amos would never have happened. But what he did, he sent a request, or he asked for some money to open a store. He asked Marvin Gaye, and I forget the other lady's name, for a $25,000 loan. He opened the store. The first year, he made $300,000. The next year, he made over $1 million selling cookies. Now, if I was on my diet, I'm going to be avoiding Famous Amos because I'm not going to want them cookies. But somebody wanted them. He had the idea. He understood that there was an abundance in life, that there was a way to get what he wanted out of life by giving his gift of baking the cookies. And the store, eventually, they were bought up by the Keebler Company, and then Keebler just spun them off to some other company. But he has proven, and that's just one example in an infinite ocean of possibilities where people at different stages of life, different points in their understanding of life, have made a stand and moved forward. And by the way, Famous Amos was a member of a unity church in Waikiki, Hawaii. So he's understanding these principles. He was able to take them and put them in practice and say, I know we live in an infinite sea of abundance. Do you know? Because if you do, there are no stoppages. There are no blockages. There are no anything that will keep you from being abundant. Now, if I could get that next slide that says, God's abundance is your abundance. It flows through mind into manifestation. Know that God gives you the necessary ideas and clothes them with all that is needed to bring them into form. The abundance of God is our abundance. The Father and I are one. The Mother and I are one. It is my pleasure to give you the kingdom. But you got to take the keys. Just because I give it, if you don't take the keys, you can't get in the kingdom. Change your thinking. Change your life. There's an ever-flowing abundance that's always present. God is always there, ready, willing, and able to bring about what we need. And so when we can do that, when we can remember that there's only one life, and that life is God's life, and that life is our life now, there's nothing that we can't do. Nothing that we can't do, swimming in the infinite ocean of the divine. And so there's always a call to action, right? Because I'm not here just to be entertainment, right? We're here to try to empower our lives and the lives of others so that we can be more enthused, more enriched with God. So if you bring up that next slide on the call to action for this week, this one is before that. Thank you. No, go back. I skipped the beat there. See, I wasn't in the flow. I got out some kind of way. But this one by Diane Harmon, who I've taken this class with her, that says, it is our very nature to be the abundance of God. To be the abundance of God means to believe in, to trust, to express, and to know ourselves as the abundance of God. We have to merge with. And once we've done that, now we step into this call to action for this week. The law of circulation has 3 parts: receiving, utilizing, and releasing. 3 parts. Are you stuck on one? Are you embracing all 2? How are these being demonstrated in your life? Because you can understand whether you're in the flow if these 3 things are happening, because things are coming in and things that are no longer needed are flowing out. How many of us have so much stuff that we can't allow nothing else in? The infinite ocean can't get in. We done got the little bottle full. Got to pull some out. And the next thing is, what's keeping you from experiencing more abundance and prosperity in your life? Only you can tell that. And you don't have to tell nobody else but God. But what are the things? Is it fear? Is it guilt? Is it doubt? What is the thing that's keeping you from allowing that prosperity to flow in? And so now, as we have this assignment for this week, we want to bring up the affirmation that will allow us to anchor this for the week. I am amazed at the marvelous things I can do when I surrender to the infinite ocean of the divine. I am amazed at the marvelous things I can do when I surrender to the infinite ocean of the divine. So with that, as we let go within, let's go into prayer. Dear Mother, Father God, that presence that is always ready, willing, and able to supply us with whatever we need, shaken up, pressed down, and running over, so that we are living in an infinite ocean of love, of prosperity, of everything we need at the exact appropriate time. Because in God there is no lack, because in God there is no impediments. And so as we release those, as we change our mind and our relationship to who and what we are to God, all things change. Our life changes, our abundance changes, our relationship changes, our problems change. Because we understand that infinite means forever and ever and ever. And so as we begin to understand that, we just call forth that presence in each and every one of us here right now, whether we're in person or online, or whether someone sees this later. We allow ourselves to be open vessels. We remove the top. We stay open at the top for new ideas, for new inspiration, for new intuition to pour in and be amalgamated with us, to become part of us, to become as us, so that we can manifest the greatness and glory of God. And so as we allow that to be our very presence now, I call forth the presence of God in each and every one of us to go forth this day and every day with the wide-eyed wonder of life, with the wide-eyed faith and trust in God, knowing that as we live in joy and happiness, all things are present. And so with that, I give thanks. I give thanks for the idea of joy. Joy, pure joy that makes me laugh and sing and dance and all those things that are associated with joy, because they allow the heart and mind to be open and for God to pour in. And so it is in that thanksgiving, it is in that understanding, it is in this moment now and forevermore that I release these words, knowing that God has heard them, acted upon them, and they are prospering in our lives as we speak. And so I just let go and let it be. And so it is. Amen. So thank you so much today. We are here on divine purpose. And so we want to thank everyone. We're so grateful that you're here, whether you're in person or online. And thank you for your offerings and blessings here at CSL Denver. Whether it's your first time or you're a returning member, we appreciate your gifts. And so right now, there are many ways you can give to support the station. If you look across the bottom of the screen, you can give by text, or you can go to the website and hit the donate button, or you can send a check or money order to the P.O. box. But however you give, we thank you. And we look forward to seeing you soon at this location. And so, as always, if you feel comfortable, put your hand on your heart and repeat our customary affirmation. This perfect gift is spirit informed, circulating in blessing all that it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Elzia. Beautiful talk. Thank you. Hi, I'm Tim Hancock still. So for the announcements at the end of the service, I just caught a mouse. A reminder that the Center for Spiritual Living Denver is meeting in person on the first and third Sunday of each month. So we will be here again in 2 weeks, as well as streaming online and on Facebook, YouTube. I encourage you in 2 weeks to make a resolution to come in and enjoy and join us in person. The consciousness here is awesome. So please join us. If you want to join us, we're at 216 South Grant Street. That's just about a block north of Alameda and about 3 blocks east of Broadway. So please join us. There is parking lot on the south side of the building, as well as there is some street parking available too. And if you want to, we are experiencing, join us after service. We're experimenting with live and virtual Zoom this morning. We'd love you to join us and know how you're doing. If you didn't receive the Zoom invitation, just send an email to info@csldenver.org and mention fellowship, and we'll send you a Zoom invitation right out. And if you're like me, needing some good news of the world to offset some of the other stuff that's going on, New Thought Media Network has a program on Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, and is called And Now the Good News. I invite you to check it out and be uplifted. It is on www.ntmedia.org. That's www.ntmedia.org. Meanwhile, we hope you have a wonderful week and affirm right here and right now that 2022 is blessed and perfect in all it is. We love you and look forward to seeing everyone in person. Please take care of yourselves. Now let's close out with Michael Gott's I Release and I Let Go.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. Gotta let it go. You gotta let it all go. And this is what you have.